Please?
So we were talking in the last two parts that there's such a thing that the radzin Rebbe calls the chalfus azmanim. And that's the change from winter. Now we're holding by the chalfus to change from winter to summer. Now, and we talked that everything we see in this world has a pneumius and a deeper pneumius and deeper pneumius. Also, like it's like the famous Chazal that says that there's no grass down here that doesn't have a malach above that hits him and says grow. Shemako Sovamer Lo Gadel. Everything has a ruchnius behind it that keeps it working. So there's also the idea of winter and summer. It's inyan and pnimim of different sugim of avodas Odom, the avodas Hashem of the Odom, and we talked about it in the last two times. So the Radziner goes on to say something deep and amazing. He says that when there's a change, it's always. I mean, this reminds me of the famous memory of Rav Nachman Breslover, even though he doesn't use these exact words, that Hashem is always making better and better, the Breslover Rebbe said. Hashem is always running the world better and better.
The Eibishter filled the world shener and besser and shener.
Wow. Amazing. You said it almost with the right accent, even. So,
Rav Caplan, you say it.
The Eibishter filled the world besser and shener.
Thank you.
So when there's a change, it means to say, says the Radziner, that till now we were living with the winter. We got used to it. We're over the Hashem and that kind of avodah of the winter, as I explained in the previous part. Now, it was established by us. We got used to it. All of a sudden, the change comes. Becomes summer. A new kind of a matzav ruach, a new kind of feeling, and memela, a new kind of avodas Hashem. What does that mean? It's just teva, that it just happens to change, that there's a certain Hashem programmed the world that it should change every half year, and it changes. Much, much more than that, much deeper than that. It's a decision that Hashem made now, that the derech that we were going on the last half a year has to change. We have to go on a new derech, which is the derech of avodas Hashem of the summer. And if there's a new derech, it means that it's getting better, it's getting higher, we're getting holier, we're getting more mezukach, more purified from this new derech is going to give us. And he goes on to say that whenever there's a change, so the previous situation is like the havamina, and the new situation is the maskana. And then it goes on and on, it goes like that. It's like in the Gemara thought a certain way in the beginning. Then the Gemara says, no, it's like this. To say that every Kamati don't go by a daf Gemara, that there shouldn't be a havamina and a maskana. And we have to know this famous, but I think I made it famous, that Rav Tzvi Meir says that a havamina means that Hashem was koveya in His Torah, that when you first look at it, this should be the way you look at it. Then you should go deeper and find, no, it's like this. That's what havamina means. And it's not like somebody once said, somebody that doesn't understand anything in Panemius Torah, once made a comment like this, that they, when they first printed the art scroll in English, first, I don't know when it was, 30 years ago it was or something, So I was learning with this person. I was a big complainer, always used to complain and criticize and yell and scream. So I read him a line that was in one of the Haskamas on one of the Gedolim on the first art school that came on the Gemara in English. So he said that Rabbi Yerucham, the Mir Mashgiach, once came into Beis Medrash and he picked up a Gemara and he said, where do you have in the whole world a book that everything it says in it is emes la'amito? Where is there such a thing? Only the Holy Torah. This person started yelling at me. What do you mean everything is emes? There's the Havaminas. So the Havamina of the Gemara itself comes up that they're not emes. So what are you saying? Every word is emes. But it's not true. He's wrong. Rav Tzaddik says that every Havamina means this is what Hashem said, that this is how the Torah was given at first glance.
Rabbi Caplan,
What?
I can't help but say what we heard over from Yadid Nafshenu, going Rav Avram Mordechai Freideld, who always used to quote the Lubliner Rav, I think, a different Lubliner Rav. What's his name? Rabbi
Eiger.
Leibel Eiger. It was a Havamina. Avram Avinu couldn't decide what to do.
Avinu what?
Chase after Avram Avinu couldn't decide what to do.
Couldn't decide if to run after the four malachim or not.
Right.
So from that came out,
All the people that can't make up their mind.
you make up their minds. You look like everything Avram Avinu did is Ladorus.
And that's
So Avram Avinu is staying there, yeah, no. Then he did run after them. But the side of no, that didn't get lost, that was Molid Neshamas, that they can't make up their minds, right? Very good. And I was thinking of another good one while I'm talking, and it always bothers me. The Gemara says somebody was over Avera Vishana, Hutralo, it becomes Mutter. Hutralo Salkedaitach. Could it be it becomes Mutter? Ela Nasis Lo Keheter becomes like Keheter. Would the Gemara have to mention that they made such a mistake in the base magic? And instead of saying Nasis Lo, they said Hutralo. How could they? It must be that at first glance there is such a thing as it becomes mutar lo. That means he becomes like he forgot bichlal that it's usher. I think I remember once seeing in the Likutei Maran that there's a piece that he says that the Torah is written on the neshama. When he does an Avera, the words turn around in a different order, and as if it says there that you should do the Avera. You remember such
Torah
a thing?
Daled in Likutei Moharan.
What?
Torah Daled.
Oh, wow. So
Yeah, Avanosai Alatz Mosav. Avanosai.
Yavonosum Altzmosum, that the Avera is written on there. So it comes out there is such a thing. The Avamina has a very strong meaning that the Avera actually is written on him, that you're allowed to do this and this. The Gemara says that doesn't mean that, but it means Nasi slow. Okay, you could talk more about it, go into it, expand on it, but we'll Nazal in your name. So I was saying that at first thought, what was I talking about? I forgot, right?
Havamina. Art scrolls.
So every word is true. So that's what I'm saying there. Rabbi Yerucham was right. He said every word is true because that's what Hashem wants at first thought. So I'm saying now, so it says on that the radzin, that like now, let's say that we're going from winter to summer. So the winter was the Hava compared to the new Avodah that we're soon going into in the summer. So the winter was a Havamina and the summer is a Maskona. That means we're getting closer and closer to the truth. then we're going to change again to Sukkot. We'll change again to winter again. What was till now was the Havamin, and later was the Maskana. And he goes on to say that from generation to generation they'll praise your Mason. The next generation is like in a certain way is a maskana, and the previous generation is a Havamin. You see it, you don't know, actually, it's hard to explain it practically. We don't always understand. We know that usually the previous generations knew much better than us and were smarter and deeper. And why are we? But maybe we're a certain result of all their avodah. It's like Reb Chaim Brisker came, he used a certain nusach, a certain signon, a certain way of explaining things, and then in later generations it became simple, became like that's the way of learning. It's so obvious that this is how you learn, this is how you explain things. It's with that there. And so on. I mean, each one should think about this idea and. You see, I'm not talking, I'm talking to smart people that they understand a hint. Take this idea and think about it yourself. And the truth, I'll tell you, I think, in certain things I see that this generation understands better than previous generations. I see in Chinuch, I see first of all the Chadorim in Yerushalayim are much better now than they were when I came to Yerushalayim 54 years ago, I think it might be, in the year 1962. Is that 54 years ago? I think it is. So the system, the learning in the Chadarim is much, much better than it was in those days. And another thing I feel, that the understanding of chinuch by people nowadays is much, much more than the understanding of chinuch of the previous generation. Although I can't say, I don't know too many people, but I'm talking from my own experience. But, so he says, so it's like this. Now, Moshe Rabbeinu was saying, "V'emer Moshe Lashem re'ei ata omer Elai ha'lesom." We're starting a new tekufa now. You're telling me to go into Eretz Yisrael, and you're saying, "V'shalachti lefonecha malach." I'm going to send a malach in front of you, and he's going to lead you. Moshe Rabbeinu said, we're changing from one tekufa to another tekufa. That means that we're if we're going to another tekufa, so that means that the next tekufa is like a maskana compared to the havamina that was till now. That means it's how, go up, go higher, grow. It doesn't just mean we're entering Eretz Yisrael, we're physically going to cross the border and go in and make a Medina, make a government, and have fruits and vegetables. It's a lot more than that. The continuing means growing. And even though we did a chet, but we're going further. We're going from where we are now, we're going to go further. But, imein ponecha olchim alta aleinu mizeh. Says the radzin, the pshat is a malach. That means a shliach of Hashem. Hashem is revealing His radzin through a malach. And be'emes, that the whole olam hazeh is like that. The whole world is that. That means everything we see around us and we hear around us is really Hashem is sending messages. Hashem He made a world around us. It's the world around us. It's all radzin Hashem. We just don't see Him. Hashem put us in a certain place, in a certain house. because he wants us that he understands the secrets of Hashem, that this is the place where